So immutability and mutation is something that JavaScript developers have been talking about a lot recently. It's not at all a new concept in programming, but in JavaScript and on the browser, we've realized that even though JavaScript doesn't really handle immutability very well by default, we can write immutable data, and it really helps our programs a lot. So immutable basically means a piece of data that we don't ever want to change. If it's immutable, we don't ever want to change it. We simply create a new piece of data based off of its values, and we change the new piece of data. So if we were to go over a equals name will, let's say we want a mutation would be just changing the name to Fred. There we go. I just mutated it. Now a has changed. An immutable change would mean that a still is name equals will, where b is now this new object with a change. To kind of show you why immutability is not kind of baked into JavaScript by default, there's really two types in JavaScript. There's primitive types and there's reference types. Primitive types would be the number 1, or they'd be a string, trest, or they would be true, false, a Boolean. So if I were to go var a equals 1 and var b equals a, b took on the value of a, but if I were to change b, a still equals 1. So they're their own variable. They're their own piece of data. Whereas objects and arrays, which are really just objects always create a reference. So if I were to say var a equals name will, var b equals a, well, now they're both pointing to the same object. So if b were to change, then a changed as well. A's name is Fred and B's name is Fred. They're the exact same object. So we actually want to be able to create a new object. And if you're in a recent browser, you're going to have object assign, which is exactly what you use for this. Object assign is not really new. jQuery's had it forever, which is extend or underscore or low dash extend. Man, I can't type extend. Or it's actually called assign now in low dash to match the new object assign. So we'd simply say var a equals name will. Let's actually give it another piece of information, age 35. And let's say var b equals, we're actually going to go object assign, and we're going to start with a brand new object. And then we're going to pass in a and anything else, b, c, d. And what it's going to do is it's going to start with this brand new object, and that is b. Then it's going to take all the values of a and apply them, overwriting. Values of B overriding, values of C overriding, values of D overriding until you're left with your final object. So if we basically want to change A, we're going to make a brand new object. So B is now pointing to this guy. And then it's going to take all the values of A. And then we're going to change something. Let's change name to Fred. There we go. Now B has the name of Fred, age 35. A is untouched. We didn't change A at all. We merely stole its values. Well, what do you do for arrays? Arrays are very similar. You just simply use concat and use filter. So you're just going to go var a equals 0.12. Var b equals a.concat. We're going to add a new value. So that's going to leave a untouched, and we're going to add a new value onto the end. A is there, and b has an extra value. And then for filter, let's say we want to strip a out. Well, a is untouched, so a is 0.12. Var b equals a.filter. And then filter is going to go through each item, put the value through, and we're going to see if value is not equal to 2. We're going to keep it in. Oh, what'd I mess up? Val. There you go. So now b has filtered out anything that's not equal to 2, we keep in there. So that's kind of how filter works, and that's how you'll change an array. So A is still unchanged, and B's got the new values. Excellent. So that's kind of how we're going to work on stuff. And let's say you've got an object that has both data and an array. Var A equals name, and things is 0, 1, 2. Well, you might have to two-stage this one then. So we might have to go var b equals object assign. First thing we're going to do is get b pointing to a brand new object. Let's pull all the values of a, and then let's do name equals Fred. Now we need to be careful right now because b.things is still pointing to the exact same thing as a.things because this is an object. If we were to change b.things, dot push, So now b.things has that, and a.things has it as well. Uh-oh, that doesn't work. Let's go back and try that again. Go away. Okay, let's go back to a. There we go. A name will things 0, 1, 2. Var b equals object assign a. And then we're going to go name equals Fred. So we've changed Fred. We're still referencing a.things. So then we're going to go b.things equals a.things. Concat. Add our new one in there. So now a.things, completely untouched. b.things, completely new object. B is completely new, ground up. So that's kind of how you're going to do immutability in JavaScript. Again, you're just using object assign. And then you're using concat to add stuff to an array. And you're using filter to pull stuff out of an array. And there's other things you can do. You can use map to change all the items in an array and return a new one. What's great about filter and map and reduce is they're always going to return a brand new array object. Concat, filter, map, reduce, and object assign. They're always going to return a brand new array object because object assign is going to return a brand new object. And so that's how you do immutability, and that's how you keep your data pristine. That's how you can keep a full record of history as data changes.